Okay, so mistake number 8 that I've made, it's not really a mistake, more just something that I'm starting to realize and I personally wish was a little bit different with the industry, is I personally really don't like the 50% upfront when to start the project and then the 50% when the project finishes. And a lot of you are probably going to disagree with me on that, but here's my personal take on it. So when I'm working on a project and I get the 50% up front, sometimes that project takes a lot longer to finish than you actually anticipate. So after you complete the shooting and then you're in the editing phase, the editing phase might take a little bit longer than you anticipated. Or one experience that I've had recently is I would book a client and then basically they don't start right away because of some personal problems that are not out of their control, and it's not their fault, but it kind of just leaves me being like, hey, when are we going to start? Hey, when are we going to start? Like, and just start bothering the client all the time because I'm trying to get that other 50% a lot faster. So personally, what I started doing is I start saying to clients, hey, in order to book me, I require 100% of the payment up front. And the reason for that is because once I start doing all the hiring for everything, I'm able to pay freelancers right away. I don't have to make them wait. And that's always a common thing with working gigs, is you're always like reaching out to whoever you're working with. Hey, when are you gonna pay? Hey, when are you gonna pay the invoice, etc. And it's just a big headache to actually do. And then even when you finish the work and then you send the invoice and ask to get paid, they don't always pay on time. Like sometimes you end up waiting a very long period of time before you actually receive the money. And then while you're waiting for that money, you end up paying money out of your own pocket for whatever it is that you're paying for. And then by the time you actually get the money, it's basically just reimbursing whatever you had spent in that time of waiting for it. And that's something that I personally just got tired of dealing with. So now with my clients, I ask for 100% upfront. And honestly, it's a lot more freeing to do that. And it's a lot more freeing because I don't have to worry about, hey, when am I going to get that final payment? Hey, why are you dragging your feet on this? Like, we got to get started because I want to get paid. So having this sort of payment structure in my business, it's led to having things a little bit more predictable and a lot less stressful on my end. And then the only exception that I would really see with this kind of payment structure is if you're working with a bigger company, because bigger companies are going to have those sort of expectations already, and it's probably going to be a lot harder to actually convince them to do that. So I'm not saying that I do this 100% of the time. This is mostly with my smaller clients or even less corporate clients. So those are going to be the ones where it's a little bit easier to do that versus if you're working with a bigger company that has a lot more people. They're most likely going to be doing like a net 30 or a net 60 or paying you based off of when they actually pay their employees. So this is not exactly something that is going to work with a bigger company. But with my smaller level clients, those are the people where I say, 100% upfront, because they have a little bit more flexibility to do that as opposed to a bigger company. If there's clients that oppose that, then I basically say like, hey, well, why don't you pay a monthly fee? Why don't you pay it in payments? And that's when I can basically offer the 50 upfront, 50 later, and then, or even just break it into payments across X amount of months that we agreed to. And then basically what I do now is I use Stripe, and then I'll have them, I say, we can actually do the payments, but I require you to have a credit card on file so that I can charge it every month until the balance is paid off. That way it gives you more control over the money that's coming into your business, and you're not just sitting around bothering the client all the time like, hey, pay the invoice, where's the invoice, and all that. Like, having to deal with that with multiple clients is something that's stressful and extremely annoying. So that's just one of the things that I personally do to lower the friction of actually getting paid. Whether you are a beginner videographer or a more advanced one, I'm sure all of you guys have gone through the experience of feeling like a disposable videographer to your clients, not having a portfolio that's strong enough to qualify you for higher paying jobs. Clients always choosing the cheaper option over you. That is because 99% of videographers are too busy sitting there staring at their phone, hoping and praying that
somebody calls to give them a gig today. And as a result, you're struggling to make a living as a full-time creative. I went through the exact same struggles. I was stuck in a cheap client cycle where I was working on a bunch of low-paying projects and just nobody really seeing the value in my work. And it was my dream to be able to get out of that cycle and start working on projects that were creatively fulfilling to me. That is why I created the Commercial Videographer Blueprint. It is the exact same framework that I use to land my dream clients, grow my video production business, and work on more creatively fulfilling projects. This exact same framework is what I use to be able to land one of my dream projects, where I was able to film a documentary that had Tony Hawk in it. In this course, you are going to learn how to create a portfolio that attracts your dream clients, learn how to get their attention, and then learn how to get them to see the value in your work, and learn how to get them to think that it is completely insane for them to work with anybody else. And you can get all of this today for $147. And to be completely transparent with you guys, this is my very first course. So this is going to be the beta launch of this course. What that means for you is you are going to get access to this content for a much cheaper price than I plan on selling it in the future. And you will have the opportunity to leave feedback on how I can actually improve the course. And as I'm taking all that feedback and creating a better version of this course, early supporters will be getting access to that new content for free, while new people will have to pay the updated price. And don't worry, if you guys think that the course is trash and you didn't get any sort of benefit out of it, then I also offer a no questions asked 30-day money back guarantee. So if you're ready to stop struggling as a videographer and you're ready to take control of your business and finally get clients to see the value in your work, then click on the link in the description below to learn more.